Good morning, everyone. I'm Emanuela Pizzolla, and I'm really glad to share with you my research today. I work in the field of neurosciences. That is the study of how our nervous system works, or to be more specific, how our brain, our spinal cord, and our nerves make us who we really are and enable us to interact with the external world. In particular, my research has focused on a very unique phenomenon, but to describe it to you, let me ask you, have you ever wondered why you cannot tickle yourself? In fact, when someone touches us and tries to tickle us, we feel the touch as really intense and we laugh. But when we try to do the same on ourselves, this is quite impossible. The touch is perceived as less intense and we don't laugh. But why this happen? Well, this is due to this extraordinary phenomenon called sensory attenuation. Sensory attenuation can be described as the ability of our brain to distinguish between self-stimuli and external one. In fact, this ability is the one that enables us to reduce the intensity of self-induced stimuli to enhance the external one. So this ability is really important because is the one that allows us to distinguish between ourselves and the external world, or my body and your body. But what happens when our body changes? For example, when we experience a condition of fatigue. Does sensory attenuation change as well? Well, this is the main question we're trying to answer in our research. And to do it, we decide to explore two different dimensions or experience of fatigue. Induced fatigue, that is the feeling you can perceive, you can experience after an intense physical activity. For example, after a run or after a dancing party. Whilst the second experience is susceptibility to fatigue. That is how easily you became fatigued. And this type of susceptibility is different in every person. We found that the first experience, or the feeling of fatigue after an activity, seems to have no interaction with sensory attenuation, while susceptibility to fatigue seems to interact with this phenomenon. But how? Well, we found that people who have a higher susceptibility to fatigue, so who became fatigued more easily, also display a lower sensory attenuation, while persons who have a lower susceptibility to fatigue, so didn't become fatigued really easily, seems to show a normal sensory attenuation. And this is really important because this proves that higher susceptibility to fatigue. So a person who became fatigued really easily also maybe can tickle himself, so have this lower sensory attenuation. These results have a great importance because allow us not only to better understand how fatigue acts on our perception of the external world, of ourselves and our body, but also open the door to a better understanding of disease, such as Parkinson's disease and chronic fatigue syndrome, in which fatigue is a highly debilitating symptom. And for this reason, our next research have focused on Parkinson's disease and how fatigue in this condition interact with sensory attenuation. With this, I finished my presentation and I want to thank my team for the great contribution in this research, and I want to thank you for your attention.